Jerry.
Hello, how are you?
You are a photographer. You do film photography, you do digital photography, but your full-time job is actually you doing video production, video editing. Specifically, you have this cool thing that you do where you are able to determine exposure by sight, meaning you're able to look at a building or look at any kind of subject and determine what exposure that needs to be at without even using a light meter or anything.
It's important, first of all, because it helps you when you're in a run and gun situation. You can't pull out your light meter, you can't put up any additional light, so you have to work with what you've got. So that's called your Sony 16 rule. For this example, we're shooting in direct sunlight. So our example, we're shooting at 100 ISO, and then that will be reciprocal to your shutter speed, which will be 100, all right? So from that tells us that our shutter speed, our f-stop will be f16. That'll give us our exposure outside in the brightest area of our shot. So going down from that, your shadows, you'll be looking at 2 stops under. So that'll give us f16, f11, f8. That'll be your shadows. Medium ground for that would be around f11 to get a correct exposure on your subject.
So I was like, you were explaining that and I was like, okay, this is really cool. I remember hearing about the Sony 16 rule back in the day. Usually I just rely on the light meter. I don't really, think about this math and doing stuff by sight and stuff. But then I was like, okay, man, so video, I usually do video. How do you relate the Sony 16 rule to video? Because usually for video, using the 1/80th rule, which basically means that you want to shoot, you want to have a shutter speed that's twice your frame rate. Usually I shoot 24 frames per second, and I'm on Australia, 25 frames per second. Shout out to Pal. So now that means I'm using a shutter speed of 1/50th.
Yep. So
using the Sony 16 rule, that means I'd want to use a ISO of 50.
Yep.
That's not something that usually is done.
No.
So we kind of both figured out that there is an easy rule that you could use when doing video, and that is
the F22 rule.
We're calling it the F22 rule. We'll patent that.
Yeah.
We'll get some money maybe.
Yeah.
The F22 rule basically states that you're going to use F22 at a 1/50th of a second shutter and at a 100 ISO level.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. It makes it easy.
Exactly.
You're shooting outside, it's sunny, you're going to use that rule. Now, of course, some person's going to say, well, hey, what if I don't want to use F22? Maybe I want to use f1.4 and it's a sunny day, so what do I do?
So in that case, we're looking at, you need ND filters.
Yeah.
You need a lot of ND filters.
Definitely going to need an ND filter.
You could use a variable ND filter, but if you're shooting at 1.4, for example, you'll need about an 8-stop ND filter.
So just remember those two aspects of the F22 rule. Anything else is going to require a lot of trial and error, as far as you got to just go out there in the field, start shooting. You're going to start kind of feeling, you're going to get to the point, actually, I feel like how you do it, you can just look at it, and you don't have to even do a lot of thinking, like, that's an F8. So Jerry, what are you going to do with your F22 rule royalties?
I think I might buy Monaco.
That works.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a private jet so I can fly between here and LA anytime I want for free.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
I'll let you find it sometime.
Thanks, man.
Who do you want to shout out, like the guys that develop your film?
Oh, dude, shout out to Racket Studios in Newstead. Chloe and Sam doing a great job.
Legends.
Yeah.
That's an Australian word. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. And as always, we'd like to say, keep it chill.